YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo. Today's episode is a very special episode on my YouTube channel. It's a Christmas special. I'm going to be looking at the colorized Christmas specials that CBS aired last Friday, December 22nd. They aired colorized specials of both I Love Lucy and Dick Van Dyke Show, so it's a combination of my YouTube channel. So let's get started with the I Love Lucy Christmas show. This was the very first episode that during the special. CBS has aired a colorized version of this episode since 2013, so it's been a few years now. And so it takes place during Christmas Eve where everyone's getting ready for the holiday, but then they reflect back on special memories of the show, so we get flashback episodes. CBS used to not colorize the flashback scenes, but in recent years they have added this feature, which I definitely approve of. It's nice to see what the classic scenes we love in black and white, what they look like in color. So I love that. I love seeing what the barbershop quartet scene looks like, the Lucy's Auntie scene, and of course the scene when she's ready to go to the hospital to give birth to little Ricky. It's all great. I love seeing what those look like in color. So I definitely approve of that. Then the episode ends with the classic Santa Claus scene that was always included in previous seasons to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. I love it. It's great to see what that looks like in color. So I have a clip of that, so enjoy.
Everybody.
Overall, I enjoy this episode, and I think the colorization looks nice, except a little bit Lucy's orangish hair. It's not totally spot on, but I like seeing the nightclub scene in color, what that all looks like, and I definitely give this a thumbs up in my review. The next episode is the fashion show. I was really looking forward to this episode because I've been hoping for CBS to colorize this since they began these specials. I love the scene at Don Loper's salon and seeing what Lucy, the dresses that she considers, what those look like, and just the entire Don Loper salon looks gorgeous in color and all the dresses look great. So I love that. Then the scene with Don Loper when he makes his cameo appearance, it's all so great. I loved seeing what that was. Just, it made it seem more real. It came alive on the screen for me. Then I also loved seeing what Lucy looked like when she was sunburnt, which we will get to in a minute. So the colorization was great in this episode. It really shined. It really gave a spark to the entire episode, which I love it in black and white, but I really enjoyed seeing it in color. So here is what Lucy looks like when she's sunburnt. It's great. I'm going to have to look into how they made her look this way. That will be something that I can do a little bit of research on to see how they made her look this way. It's probably a lot of blush. A lot of blush. But moving on to the fashion show scene. I love seeing the movie star wives and what their dresses looked like in color. The fuchsia and purple was fantastic. I loved it. And then the pink mink was so great. And then it was great to see Lucy's turn trying to walk down the runway. But I do have one complaint for this episode. CBS decided to cut out two wives from the fashion show scene. Mrs. Dean Martin, we didn't get to see what this dress looked like in color. And we didn't get to see what Mrs. Richard Carlson, what this dress looked like in color. We didn't get to see that. CBS decided to cut that out. I didn't like that. I was looking forward to seeing those dresses, and especially Mrs. Dean Martin. I know CBS cut scenes for commercials, but I would have cut the short scene when Ethel and Fred are talking to Ricky about Fred wanting to buy an orange grove before Lucy walks out with her sunburn. That scene is a filler scene, in my opinion, and it could have been cut out to allow more time for the fashion show scene. That's my only complaint about the episode. I loved the colorization, and I think Lucy's hair is a little bit more closer and spot on to what her hair actually looks like. So I give this episode a thumbs up, but I just had one complaint. Moving on to Dick Van Dyke, My Blonde-Haired Brunette. This was the first colorized special during this, and this episode was great. The colorization of the house, the clothes was so great. I loved it. Seeing just everything kind of come together was really fantastic. Seeing the colorization of Rob's yucky shirt was awesome to see. It was hilarious to just see like Rob try to pick at Laura's gray hair, even though we can't really see her gray hair. But during the episode, Laura bleaches her hair blonde, thinking that Rob wants her to be a blonde. It was great to see what that looked like in color. Laura should not look this way. This is not Laura Petrie. She should have her brown hair, not this bleached blonde hair that looks like Harpo Marx. And it was just, it's hilarious. It was a hilarious episode. I was laughing so much. And then it was great to see when Rob comes home at the very end of the episode. It's so great because Laura starts being hysterical and blubbering, and just seeing the half bleached blonde hair and the half brunette hair. So great. I loved it. Overall, I loved this episode, and I thought the colorization added to the humor of the episode. This episode is hilarious by itself with the black and white, but the colorization added to the humor of this episode. It just made the blonde, her bleached blonde hair, even more funny. So I give this episode a huge thumbs up. I approve it, and I loved every minute of it. In the second episode in the Dick Van Dyke special was October Eve. This honestly was my first time seeing this episode. I've never seen it before, and so I enjoyed that, seeing the episode for the very first time. The episode is good, and the colors looked really great. Carl Reiner, who's the creator of the Dick Van Dyke Show, he appears in this episode as the painter. And so I can see why he decided to have CBS colorize this episodes, because he worked with Mary Tyler Moore and everything. I think this is a good episode, but it's not a classic in my opinion. I would have selected a more well-known episode like My Blonde-Haired Brunette, but this episode was fine. I didn't have a problem with it, but I think it fell just a little bit flat after My Blonde-Haired Brunette. I think there was just so much hilarious comedy in that episode, and then this one to just follow it, it didn't exactly follow it very well. That's my honest opinion about it. I would have chosen something a little bit more well-known than this episode, but I don't blame Carl Reiner for choosing it because he worked with Mary Tyler Moore in this episode. My overall thoughts are that I loved this this special, but the colors looked great and everything, but again, it's not one that I would have chosen to colorize. So I hope that's okay. Overall, my final thoughts on the entire colorized special is that I loved this year's colorized Christmas special with I Love Lucy and the Dick Van Dyke Show. I thought all of the episodes were great and nicely colorized. I wish CBS wouldn't cut important scenes, but alas, it happens. I know they have to fit commercials in, and I guess in today's society, there are more commercials, longer commercials than there were in the 1950s and 60s. So I understand, but I still wish that CBS wouldn't have cut two of the wives out of the fashion show scene. That really bothered me, to be perfectly honest. There's a debate on the colorized specials, and just to let you know, I support the colorized specials. The colors add more to the imagination. You're probably thinking, well, you're part of the newer generation. You probably don't really care for black and white. That's not true at all. I loved the black and white. I grew up watching I Love Lucy. I've been a fan since I was 2 years old. I grew up watching I Love Lucy, Dick Van Dyke Show, Andy Griffith. So I am very accustomed to black and white, but I still really am enjoying these colorized specials. I love seeing what things look like in color. It's a fun night. It's a fun special to watch. And so I really enjoyed that. Let me know what your thoughts are on this year's colorized Christmas special. And if you like the colorized specials and what episodes you would like to see next. Personally, in my opinion, I'd love to see the freezer and Lucy is Envious in the in I Love Lucy, and on Dick Van Dyke Show, I would love to see The Curious Thing About Women. Now it's time for a little bit of sad news. I regret to inform that Rosemarie, who plays Sally Rogers on the Dick Van Dyke Show, she passed away this afternoon at 94 years old. So today is December 28th, 2017, so she passed away today. We love you, Rosemarie. We love Sally Rogers, and we will miss you so very much. Now stay tuned for a special video from me. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to conclude this week's video with a little message to you, thanking you for subscribing to my channel and following my videos during the year 2017. I started this channel to just educate people about various things in I Love Lucy, with my guest star spotlights and other great episodes. But then lately I've been doing Dick Van Dyke Show episodes as well, and I just really appreciate the support this year. 2018, I will continue to produce new content. I will keep my YouTube channel going, so stay tuned. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I do an I Love Lucy episode every Thursday and a Dick Van Dyke Show episode every Monday. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Click the subscription button that should be appearing right here so you're the first to know when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and I hope 2018 is a great year for you as well. Bye!